What are we going to do today? We're going to try something different, maybe a little carp fishing?
We're gonna catch some carp.
Carp from the shore?
Carp from the shore. Most of this carp fishing is done from the bank. It's kind of hard doing it from a boat.
Okay.
But it's gaining in popularity, the carp fishing. I see On the Water, been doing a lot of articles lately. They had a cover last month.
Yeah, I saw it just last month. They had
Yeah,
a
it was a
big,
beautiful
carp.
mirror carp on the cover, and I myself was a largemouth guy. I've always been a saltwater guy, but transitioned over to carp and haven't looked back. When we carp fish, we're using 12-foot rods.
Okay. And that's what's in these cases, right?
These are 12-foot rods, yes, with bait runner reels.
Okay.
I use monofilament because they take long surging runs like a bluefish. You want the stretch of the mono. Some people use braid to cast further, but I like the stretch of the mono. Pretty much when the carp picks it up, you have a really sharp hook, and the weight of this lead pulls the hook in. All you do is pick the rod up, engage the bait runner, and you're off to the races.
Okay.
Your rod's connected to the back. Your reel will be sitting around here. Your line will be going right around here, out into the water. Be sitting in this channel, which is attached to the wheel. So when you get a bite, it'll start running and it'll start beeping. Here's why we have these things. These are called swingers. It's got spring tension built into it.
Okay.
And what happens is a lot of the times the carp will pick up your bait and come towards you. So if he's coming towards you, you're not going to hear alarm because it's not going to pull any line out. The line just goes slack. What this does, it actually pulls the wheel, spins it in reverse. You'll get 3, 4, 5 beeps,
Gotcha.
and then you'll see this hit the floor.
Right.
That's known as a drop back.
And that's because there's slack in the line now,
Because the
no
slack in
tension,
the
it's
line,
going to drop.
yep.
Gotcha. Okay.
So pretty much what we have here is a pellet, and I'm soaking them in the water here to make them into like a mush.
Right.
You get these pellets at worldclassicbaits.com.
What are those pellets made out of?
They're all different fish meals and all different ingredients. And pretty much I'm just soaking them. I have a little canvas bucket here. I went and collected some water from the lake. And you soak these pellets down and you make like a nice mush.
Right.
And in here you'll see the steam coming off it because it just came off the stove this morning.
Oh, wow.
In here we have a nice mixture of maize, which is like a deer corn, like a feed corn.
Gotcha.
But it has to be boiled and it's got to be soaked for 24 hours and then boiled so that it's safe for the fish. Also in here we have some bird seed, we have some chickpeas.
Now, how does that stay on the hook?
This isn't actually going to be used to stay on the hook. What we're going to be doing is we're going to let this pellet soak up some of the water until it turns into a mush.
Okay.
Once this is a nice mush, I'm going to add some of this into there.
So it's more like
And
flavor.
what we're going to do is we're going to have our rig. Okay, we're going to have our bait attached to our rig. Now our bait doesn't actually go on our rig, and I'll go into that in more depth in a minute when we get into that part. But this needs to soak up and prepare. That's why I'm doing this first. So we have our bait, our hook, our rig, and then our sinker.
Okay.
What we're doing is we're making a mush, and we're going to pack that around the sinker.
Okay.
And it's going to break down into a nice big pile of bait after a couple minutes. And our bait is going to be either some combination of one of these items or something else. And they're just going to come up and suck up all the bait and intermittently find our hook.
Gotcha. So it's kind of like a little chum, basically, is what it is.
Yes, it's called pack bait because it packs around your lead. You could use all different kinds of things. You could use the pellet method like this. You could use oatmeal. People use oatmeal and cream corn, and they make a nice little mix. So
that's not going to come off. Like if I'm casting right now, that doesn't come off?
You need to get it to the right consistency. It is
stick.
an art in and of itself to get it to stick
I
to
would
your
say.
sinker. Yeah, we're using a 4-ounce lead, and we're putting about another 4 ounces of stuff on
that's
it.
a big ball then, yeah.
So we're going to be casting around 8 to 10 ounces
yeah, that's a lot.
of bait out. Yep. Check this out.
What is this thing?
It's called a spom.
Okay, so what does this do?
Pretty much we fill it up with our bait.
Okay.
Fill it up with whatever you want to bait with, whatever you're going to put on your hook.
Okay.
You close it.
So you're talking about the corn stuff that you just showed me?
Yeah, you fill it up with the corn or whatever you want to put on your hook or whatever you want to chum the carp up with.
Right.
Now, when you cast it out, it'll hit the bottom, hit the water, and it'll open it up.
Gotcha. Okay.
So you could put your line in the clip on your reel
Right.
and cast out to exactly where you want. And then when you get into that part, it'll hit the bottom, hit the water, and it'll open it up. Gotcha. Okay.
So
You could put your line in the clip on your reel and cast out to exactly where you want. and then walk out your fishing rods to the exact same point, so you know you're fishing right on top of your bait every single time.
Okay, so you're saying like if I want to go out 60 yards, I'm going to walk out 60 yards of line.
You could take this, put your bait runner on, walk it out 60 yards,
Right. Yeah.
clip it up, and then you could do the same thing with your fishing rods. And
You're
then
saying clip it up. You mean put the line right here,
put
the
it,
line holder.
put the line into the line clip.
I got you. Okay.
So
then
then
once you cast, it's going to stop.
Once you cast, it's going to stop. It's going to hit the same spot. So when you're done putting your bait out, you can take your fishing rod, walk it out the same distance, clip it up, cast it out, and you know you're fishing right where your bait is.
And then take it out of the clip.
Take it out of the clip, put the bait runner on, you're good to go. There's no guesswork.
This is pretty wild. I've never seen anything like this before in my life. So right now, what are we going to do with these balls here?
Well, pretty much we have our bait that we went over earlier.
Okay.
We got it. It's all set up. It's nice.
The nice spicy meatballs.
Yeah, we got the tide coming in. I got my setup over here. I got you set up over there. Pretty much I'm just going to go in front of each spot, and I'm going to put 5, 6 in front of each rod, and then...
It's basically pre-baiting the area, a little chumming up.
Yeah, pre-baiting. We're going to get ready. Once the tide comes in, we're not going to be fishing that far out. We're just going to fire them out.
Gotcha.
This little handy-landy slingshot right here. We'll just get them out there and...
Let's give it a whirl. Let's check it out, man.
All right. Just load it up in the pouch, pull it back, and we're chumming. Salute. You got 2 pieces of fake corn on there.
Mm-hmm.
And as you see, the hook, the bait isn't actually on the hook.
Right.
Now, carp are experts at ejecting what they don't like. They'll come and they'll sense, they suck and blow, They get refuse comes out of their gills. They get rid of whatever they don't want. They don't like it, it's gone. This is produced in England because when you put the bait on the hook, if they don't like the bait, they spit out the bait, they're spitting out your hook.
Right.
How this works is the carp takes it, he's got your bait, it's in his mouth.
Right.
He doesn't like it, he spits it out. The hook's still in there, the bait comes out.
Right, gotcha.
The weight of the lead still sets the hook. Now,
you're pretty brave doing that, by the way.
Yeah, I've done it 100 times when I've done trade shows and stuff. So basically, we're gonna go through the mechanics of this.
Yeah, you can show me how to rig one up.
You're using some kind of braid.
Okay.
I sell the braid on my website, but if you want to use...
This looks like about, what, 60, 80?
No, it's around 60-pound Power Pro. You can use 60, 40, 30, somewhere around there. Pretty much you want to start out at about 12 inches, 8 to 12 inches. Cut it off. Now this is actually...
Just like a wax braid.
Yeah, this is coated. So to tie the front section, this will strip the coating off it. I'm just going to strip the coating off the front of it.
Okay. Pretty cool little tool.
You see how it does that? It just strips the coating right off of it. You're left with a normal braid. And on the end, I'm just going to tie a basic loop. Overhand loop.
Okay.
The wind and the cold hands are going to make this difficult.
Yeah, not much to work with. There you go.
Oh, there we go. We got a normal overhand loop. Take your tag in, and you get rid of that, tighten it up. Now this doesn't need to be tight because this is only going to be what's holding your bait close to your hook.
Okay.
You're not actually going to have any tension on this loop.
Okay.
Then we're going to go in, get a hook and our bait. Now you want to make what this is called the hair, this section that comes off your hook.
Those aren't scented or anything.
No, you can scent them. You can put them in any scent that you want.
Yeah.
But these actually, they just come plain like that. Now, you want to put your bait on your hair, and that's why we have that loop. And to do that, we have what's called a baiting needle. It's just a stick like this, and it has a little barb on the end of it.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay, so for this demonstration, we'll just use 2 pieces of this fake corn. Put that on the needle. Oh, he's reeling in. And then you stick the needle through that loop. So the loop is on that needle.
Gotcha, I see it.
All right, you slide it up snug to that little notch, like so.
Yep.
And then you come straight and you just slide your bait onto that loop.
Okay.
Now you have this loop sticking out the end. You take a bait stop or a stick. They make these, are sold commercially. I have these available as well.
Okay.
Just cut off a little piece. And then all this does is prevent that, your bait, whatever you have on there, sweet corn or anything that I showed you before, that just goes on the loop.
And you just pull it down snug. I see what you're doing.
And you pull it down snug.
Yep, okay. That's pretty cool. Now, with that, you could do that with real corn?
Through the loop and then tie your hose.
What's that?
You could do this with real corn, too?
You could do it with real corn, like sweet corn out of the can, but I suggest using something else because it doesn't stay on as well.
Right.
The current kind of washes it out and it gets nice and it gets too soft too quick.
You take hard corn and drill through it and soften it by boiling it.
We're gonna get our hook. You always start from the back of the hook and work towards the point. You never want to go this way. You always want to go from the back of the point.
Gotcha.
Back towards the point. Slide your hook up.
So you're basically staying right on the thread that you
You're
took the wax
staying,
off.
yeah, you want it nice and limp so you can get some movement in it. You want to leave about a gap around that size, about the size of a kernel of corn, maybe a little bit longer,
Okay.
and just hold it right there. And this is what's called a knotless knot. You're not actually tying a knot. It's almost like a Snell knot. What you're going to do is just going to wrap it around the shank of the hook.
Okay. How many times are you looking to do that?
6, 7. People have lucky numbers. It's just you need to, anything more than 5, you'll be safe.
Yeah.
And then you just take that and you come right back down, always again through the back towards the point.
Yep.
And snug that up. And there's your rig.
And that's it, done.
That's it.
And then now on this end, we're going to have another loop, or what are we going to put there?
On this end, we'll either have a loop or have a swivel, something to attach.
Okay.
I actually use a quick disconnect. I got some swivels here. Use a quick disconnect. What I'll do is I'll tie a loop, and that goes in here.
I see, Saint, yep.
And then you could slide it on like that, and then quickly change your rig by just snapping that onto the swivel.
Right, and then
it
away,
separates
yep.
and then just slides right on.
I get it, yeah, absolutely.
So
Yeah, that's a pretty cool little thing.
yeah, there's a lot of gizmos and gadgets. This is what's called the line aligner. And as you see right here, it kind of slides up. The hook's not turning.
Mm-hmm.
You slide one of these through and you put it over the point of the hook. And then this little rubber part slides over the eye of the hook.
Right.
There's your finished rig right
And that's
there.
complete. So you have your quick snap right there. It's going to go to your swivel. Then you have your egg sinker up here to your line to the reel.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have your 60-pound Power Pro. This the shrink tube, or this Teflon tube. I'm not sure what that's for. Then you have that to make the hook come in, and then you bait on the hair.
What this is for, once this is on your swivel,
Okay.
you take this tubing up and you cover it.
Ah.
And it prevents this from coming back and being able to come back over
Yeah,
and
and it
coming
can
out
slip
of the,
right in, too.
coming, yeah.
Gotcha. Ah, okay, that makes sense now. Oop. So let me see that rig one more time then. So basically, your corn, your hair, your hook, 65-pound Power Pro, Teflon, and your quick snap.
So we got our rig that we just made.
Yep.
We got a ball of chum that we're going to put on there. This is where that quick disconnect swivel comes in.
Okay.
All we got here is a swivel on the end with a larger eye. That goes through, and we're connected.
Gotcha. Okay, now you have your lead up here.
Got our sinker right here. We're going to take that silicone sleeve and slide that up to protect it.
Okay.
And take our slinker, lock it down into place.
Ah, I see. All right, that's really cool. Now this right here is a much heavier line. This is not.
This
your-
is actually lead core. I don't know if you can feel it.
I
You
do
can see
feel
a
it. Yep.
kink.
Yep, I feel
It's
it.
got a lead core, so it'll sink the last couple feet of your line.
Okay.
So when they're feeding on your baited area, they won't feel the angle of your line. It'll keep your line down in the water.
So be under their belly. That
And
makes
they'll
sense,
be
yeah.
underneath them. They won't get line shy and stuff like that.
These are all the little tricks, you know, that you have to do.
You know what? Most of the time we're on the bank for 10, 12 hours trying to get a bite. I mean, in Europe, sometimes people spend 2-3 weeks without a bite and they're there every day. So the U.S. is pretty much an untapped resource. We just try to maximize the time that we spend out with other stuff. So take our ball here that we made up, push our sinker into there. Take the other half. Now the important part is you want to make sure the line and your rig are straight.
Okay.
If it's not straight, if it comes off on like an angle, when you go to cast it, it's going to pop right off. And it is an art to making this. You got to get it really the right consistency to stay on there. Now, when this is going to be laying on the ground like that.
Right.
You're going to get a circle. You got the corn in there and the seeds and the pellets that we made. And this is going to make a nice little patch, and right on the end of our patch is our bait. So they're going to come around, suck up this, and hopefully they find the hook.
And you'll see that nice bright little corn.
Yeah, that's what you want. I like the contrast. So it's like the cherry on top of a sundae. Everyone eats the cherry first.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
That's cool.
Clean my hands up a little bit, and we'll give this a whip out there. Everything's in line. It looks like it's in place. Check our drag. Drag's good.
What did you say? Those are 12-foot rods, right?
These are 12-foot rods, yeah.
Okay. And it's the first bait going out.
First bait.
A nice little easy wallop, and that's it.
Yeah, you don't have to really.
No need to wing it.
I mean, I'm using a 4-ounce lead, and I probably got another 3-4 ounces of that bait on it.
Right.
So about 8 ounces. It's a nice good bottom spot right there. Pretty much you just want to come tight.
Okay.
Engage your bait runner. Let your line out.
Now that beeping again, that's just a line.
That's just a line
or the
coming
line
in, yeah.
indicator.
And then you got this little swinger right here. Clip that on, and that keeps the tension on the on your line. Keeps them nice and straight. So if the line were to go slack, if the carp were to pick up your bait and come towards you, this would drop, the wheel would spin in reverse, and you would get the sound instead of just your line going slack.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so Lawman, let me go get you rigged up and get your rods ready.
Definitely ready.
All right, so we got our spom tool that we talked about
Bomb's
earlier.
loaded, right?
Bomb's loaded.
All right.
All right, so I'm gonna close her up. Now we're good. That'll stay closed until that red button hits the water, and then it'll open up. The bait will go exactly where we want it.
Okay.
That's a nice reel. I wonder where I got it.
I heard a guy was selling them on eBay.
Oh, yeah?
There goes the bomb.
It opens up. And just skirts right back on top of the water.
That's a real cool device. It's all about the chum.
And you're empty. Now that bait's exactly where your rig is.
That's pretty cool.
So we're back. Last year was a bust. We had a good time. We ate a lot of good food. We shared a lot of stories, but there was no fish. We're back this year, another tidal river in Jersey. This happens to be the Hackensack River. And yeah, we have a whole bunch of fish on the mat so far, and fishing's been good. A little better of a fish. My buddy Woo Kim. Check him out on YouTube. His channel is Woo Kim, WOO space Kim, Kim. He fishes for carp hand lines. What's with the what is it? The reels have a drag built into them, right?
The drag inside of a spool.
The drag is inside the spool, and he fights them by hand and reels them around. It's quite interesting the way that works. It's funny too how you have the alarm set up so you're kind of cross between European style and your own style.
Analog plus digital, I think. Right?
Analog plus digital, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like putting a cassette tape in a DVD player. You saw that jump?